Hi, I'm Ken Lebo with InsurTech Express, and today we want to talk to you about how to take an idea and design out a process using the tools in ChatGPT. And I'm going to walk you through my process, and the example we're going to do today is a digital life sales plan. The first thing when I have an idea like wanting to develop a digital life sales platform for instant term, the first thing I'm going to do is go to my glass whiteboard here in my office. Love this whiteboard. So first I think of the players or the who the parties are, who's involved. We got the carrier, the BGA, the agent, and the client. Then we look at the pieces, the components here: website, needs calc, client form, health questionnaire, and quoting. And we've got the payment, e-signature approval, and then the policy. So those are the pieces to needed, and now we got to build a process. But this is my first step, is just kind of lay out the main players and the main pieces before I move on to my next step. Okay, so as I've mentioned in my other videos, I subscribe to ChatGPT Plus at $20 a month, and there are, I guess, at least 1,000 or 2,000 plugins you can use. And I've been researching them a lot, and I know I've showed a few of them on a previous video, but I'm going to use Diagram Show Me in GPT-4 to create diagrams. And the very first diagram I want to create after doing my whiteboard, next thing is I want to do a mind map. So I take those same things I had on my whiteboard. Remember the parties or the players, insurance company, etc., components like website and quoting tool. And I say, create a mind map. Okay. And what it comes up with is this design. So let's see what it looks like in a full screen here. Okay. So here, this is visually allows me to kind of think of my idea on how I want to connect the dots. You see the digital life sales is in the middle. I've got my parties or players here. And on this side, I have the different components. Now I need to kind of create that process flow. So I think about it in English, like what would this process look like? And what I do is I go to my notes tool. I'm on a Mac. Okay. And I go to my notes tool and I start to say, all right, clients, they're going to click on this on a social media ad link, which will take them to an agent's website. So an agent's going to do a social media campaign. And then what they're going to do, the client lands on it, they're going to run a needs analysis tool using the needs calculator. Then they're going to fill out a contact form because they're going to want to be able to run a quote. And it's going to force them to use a contact form, fill out some contact information before they can run the quote, but it will allow them to run the quote. But in the meantime, the contact form is sent to the agent as a lead. Then before the agent can run a quote, they have to answer some health questions. And then there'll be a multi-carrier quote being run using a quoting tool. Then the agent then contacts the client because then he gets a copy of the quote and he contacts the client and he walks through an e-app and completes the application. And then the application is electronically sent to the carrier. The carrier, during this process, it's going to be running some checks and things like that, maybe a RX check and MVR check. But before they can do that, they're going to need to get a signature on an medical authorization. And it's good to capture some payment information. That way the client is more committed. And so the client's going to get a link to do both those things. Then the approval process happens. If a yes, then electronically a policy will be delivered and the e-policy delivery. And if no, the agent will be notified. They will contact the client and offer an alternative life product. And because these are coming in a hierarchy under a brokerage agency, the brokerage agency is also notified as well. So that's the process. That's the process as I'm thinking it through. I'm just writing it out in English. Now, what's my next step? My next step is let's go see this process very simplified here. So let me go back to ChatGPT. And basically, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that process here. See, this is what I wrote in my notes. I just pasted it, and I said create a diagram flow, and then here's a flow showing real simple. Client clicks on social media ads, link to an agent's website, needs calculator, etc. Everything we just talked about, and then approval process, yes or no. And this is a very simple flow. Okay, so let's go from the simple to the complex, and let's look at it from a sequence perspective. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, here to create a sequence diagram illustrated digital life platform process. And the next thing we see here is this, and basically, what we're going to do is we see the client, the agent website, the needs calculator, the questionnaire, everything's listed across the top and the bottom, and it's walking you step by step. Client's going to go to the social media ad, then he accesses the needs calculator, runs an analysis, fills out the contact form. Then the lead is sent to the agent. So it's going through a sequence, right? This is a sequence map. And this is very important because if you're going to hand this to a programmer to start to code this thing out, they need to really know what the sequence is. So ChatGPT created that sequence for me. All right. And then the last thing is my favorite at the end is to create this you find it here, this what I call this flow chart, this horizontal flow chart. I think it's very nice. And what I like to do is, let me show this here in full screen. Okay, is here we have a client box in pink. Client clicks on social media ad, agent website, needs calculator, client form, health questionnaire, quoting tool. Then we see we have the agent processing, the lead sent to the agent contacts the client, he completes the e-app, then the application, here's the carrier box, is sent to the carrier, link for payment and e-signature, client completes the payment, client e-signs, and here we have the approval process. If no, alternative product agent then contacts the client, and if yes, on this approval process, then the policy is emailed to the client, brokerage agency is notified. That's so I love this diagram. I like the it makes it another clear depiction of how this process is. Okay, now you can see how I take an idea, whiteboard it, mind map it so I can kind of visually think of how I want to put everything together, then do a simplified, write out a simplified process, diagram that simplified process, build a more detailed sequence diagram, and then a nice graphical visual picture that I can show the stakeholders in a PowerPoint as the wrap up to my digital life sales platform. I hope this helped you, gave you some good ideas on how you want to address your next idea and kind of get it closer to reality. Please visit InsurTechExpress.com, and you can contact me at ken@InsurTechExpress.com. Thank you.